to the Career Talk today with the OHSU Foundation. Today with us, we have a variety of folks that work at that foundation, and we'll learn a little bit more about what a foundation is and what folks do that work there. So first up, we have Caitlin, who will let us know what is the OHSU Foundation.
So as Katrina said, my name is Caitlin Carencross, and I work on the HR team at the Oregon Health and Science University Foundation. And one of the things I do in my role is actually oversee all of our recruitments. So that is part of how I got connected to Katrina. And I wanted to start off just by providing a little bit of an overview about the foundation. We are a nonprofit organization that currently has about 105 employees, although we are growing steadily all the time and continuing to add roles across the foundation. And when we aren't working remotely, which we are right now due to COVID, we are based out of a nice brand new office in downtown Portland, which is what you can see in these photos to the right of my screen. Although I will say too that even when we do go back into the office and decide that it's safe to do so, we have a flexible work environment. So that means that most of our employees will spend some time working in the office and some time working from home as well. And our purpose is to ignite the power of philanthropy to advance the mission of OHSU, which is the only academic medical center in the state of Oregon. And so basically what that means is that at the heart of everything, our mission is to raise money to support all the amazing work that takes place at OHSU, whether that be research or patient care or educating the next generation of healthcare professionals or responding to the coronavirus pandemic, which obviously was so important over the last couple of years. So anything and everything that OHSU does, we are here to support them. And last year we hit a really big milestone, which was raising $2 billion over the course of the previous 7 years to support OHSU's work. So that was a really big and exciting achievement for our organization. And the panelists that you're going to hear from today all have very different roles and responsibilities across the organization. So hopefully that will help demonstrate all the different but equally important pieces that go into fundraising, and also help show that there's a lot of different career opportunities in an organization like ours. So with that, I will turn it over to our panelists.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ashley Roush. I am a development support supervisor at the foundation. My pronouns are she, her. And basically what I do is I support a team of fundraisers on the development team. I provide administrative support, but also some high-level strategic support. I work very closely with the KCI Institute, as well as the School of Public Health, and really just help keep our fundraisers focused and support them in creating materials and donor communications. So I also do get to work with a development coordinator that I manage, and I get to triage any kind of work that goes down to her. And yeah, so that's what I've been working on.
Hello, my name's Carolyn O'Black. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the Director of Research, Prospect Management, and Analytics for our organization. I've been here for 10 years, and I've been in the profession for more than 20. The goal for our department is to ensure our gift officers, our fundraisers are talking to the right people at the right time to raise the most money for our mission. And some of the resources we utilize to achieve that include looking at our donor database. We review articles in the news and other public data sources. Our department is also responsible for tracking information in our database that can help inform strategy as well as progress toward our overall fundraising goals on an annual or in like the campaign that Caitlin spoke of, a multi-year opportunity. Our department is also a part of a larger operations team called Advancement Services, and that group helps process the gifts, direct mail solicitations. They manage all of our information technology like our laptops and all of our phone access and all of that. And we also have a team that builds out all of our reports and dashboards. We then take all of that data to conduct trend analysis and provide insights to our colleagues. And so if you enjoy reading, conducting research, working in spreadsheets and databases, or solving puzzles, you may want to consider a role in prospect development or fundraising operations.
My name is Kathy Kemmerer. My pronouns are she, her, and I will get into what my job is. But first, I need to share that I have worked at OSHU Foundation for 29 years. This was my first job out of college. I'm now in my 10th role. And in the time I've been here, literally just everything has changed. Fundraising, healthcare, science, how we communicate, how we collaborate. So I've just never been bored. I've had a lot of careers within the organization, and I still absolutely love what I do. So my job is, my title is Senior Director of Strategic Foundation Partnerships. And that essentially means that I help connect people who want to change the world with people who can. And I am a fundraiser. I help raise money for everything that Caitlin had shared that OHSU does. We are internationally known in cancer, neuroscience, gene editing, imaging, and infectious disease. And on any given day, I work on projects ranging from breast cancer to Alzheimer's disease to COVID-19 or technology development. We just received a grant to develop an imaging system that will enable scientists for the first time to see how molecules in a single cell group together to give rise to functions like cell division. So my job is really, truly all over the place every day. I get to be an eternal student every day. My fundraising in particular, what I do is it's a blend of two different types of fundraising. One is principal gifts, which means I work with donors who can give $2.5 million or more, so just larger capacity grants. And I work with foundation relations, which means I work with charitable private foundations, so organizations that give grants like the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, or locally, you might be aware of My Memorial Trust or Oregon Community Foundation. So what do I actually do? My job is a lot of things. With the help of Carolyn's team, I do a lot of research and I work to find out who is out there that may support our faculty and our scientists. What do they want to do? How do they accomplish it? Can you just approach them? Do they have an application process? Who's on their board? Who reviews their grants? All of these things that helps them do that work. I spend a lot of my time editing and writing, and I am not a scientist. I'm the farthest thing from that. And I would have to admit that much of what I read every day, I actually don't understand, which is actually a good thing for our scientists, because even for highly scientific foundations like the Gates Foundation, it's important to know and to have any reader, wherever they're coming from, understand what is it we're trying to accomplish, why are we the ones who are best positioned to do the work, and what is the ultimate impact we will have if we're successful. One of the hardest things I do is I rewrite scientific abstracts into lay summaries for people who have no scientific background, just like me. So I actually use my journalism and communication background to do that kind of thing. And I'm also a meeting and event planner, just site visits to review proposals. And this, could be introductory meetings for, our new faculty with foundation leadership. These can be on OHSU campus. They can be at professional organization meetings across the world. They can be virtual, and were so before the pandemic because our scientists collaborate across the globe. And then I think most importantly, I'm a cheerleader. In every interaction, I try to remind people what a difference they are making in the world, whether it's in a written progress report or a phone call, where I'm thanking someone for what they do. Science is hard, healthcare is hard, and it's important to thank people for whatever they're doing to make a difference and remind them where we've been, where we are, and where we can go together.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Josh Gehrig. My pronouns are he, him. Director of Finance and Investments at the Foundation. Essentially, that means my primary responsibilities are a member of the Finance and Accounting Department, where I'm responsible for overseeing all of the investments at the Foundation. Our main investment pool is our endowment portfolio, which is an investment portfolio that invests in public investments as well as private and alternative investments, both in the U.S. and international geographies. I also work with Foundation Investment Committee, which is a committee of majority local investment professionals that help guide the investment process and make sure that the foundation is doing its fiduciary duty to manage assets and investments in a proper manner and generate its best return for the benefit of OHSU. I also work with our external investment managers who are other investment professionals that we hire to help manage the portfolio. Investments in the Foundation's endowment, which provides financial support to OHSU for scientific research, student aid and scholarships, and patient care. On the other side, kind of within the department on the administrative side, I also work with department colleagues to also process and administer all of the gifts received from donors and ensure the money from those gifts is used appropriately and within the donor's intended purpose. And then lastly, help provide customer service to donors, foundation colleagues, and OHSU faculty for questions that they may have related to the Foundation's endowment, our investment process and investment performance, as well as endowment gifts that have been established for the benefit of OHSU.
After high school, what was your educational path, if any?
After high school, I went to the University of Oregon for my undergrad degree. I studied communication disorders and sciences, which is just a really long name for speech therapy. And so when I was pursuing that degree, I wanted to become a speech language pathologist. But, other plans kind of threw me off with that. I got a job in college with the annual giving program and with fundraising and doing the telethon at the U of O. And so I was fundraising as a student and really got to learn more about the just higher education fundraising and scholarships, everything along those lines, and really enjoyed that. And so I did consider going into grad school for speech language pathology, but I really just had that passion for fundraising. And so now I am actually pursuing my graduate degree in nonprofit leadership and management with Arizona State. And actually the OHSU Foundation has enabled me to pursue this through a tuition reimbursement program that they offer. And that really was a big push for me to start doing that program. I started just last term, so I'm in my second semester right now. And so I'm handling a workload, but then also taking classes. But I would say that working and doing the classes together helps me fully get a big picture of like, what is the nonprofit sector? How do I fit into the big picture? This is going to help me in the future, not only just to get that bigger picture, but to help me figure out what I'm really passionate about too in the nonprofit sector, and just be able to do my job better as a fundraising professional as well.
I always thought I was going to be a elementary or middle school teacher. So my degree is in education, and my master's degree is also in education. So what happened though is that once I was in the program, I determined that maybe I didn't want to be in a classroom in that setting. So I took a temporary job. We had relocated to San Diego due to my husband's career. And I took a temporary position with the Children's Hospital in San Diego. And my role was to serve as the receptionist or the administrative associate for the planned giving director. And so that started my path towards nonprofit work.
I had no idea whatsoever of what I wanted to do. I knew much more about what I felt like I was motivated by. So I had decided that I wanted to do something in nonprofit, health, or education, very broadly. My degree was in public relations, actually, which has a journalism core, and I had no idea how valuable that piece would be in my career with my interviewing all the people I work with on what are you doing? Why does it matter? How does that work? It made me very comfortable asking questions and kind of helping to translate a story of someone who's doing something really complex into something that other people can care about. And that's actually a good summary of my job that I do now. And just over time, I grew with the foundation in various roles. I worked on alumni relations, communications and publications, special events, annual giving, direct mail and phone fundraising, major gift fundraising, capital campaigns. I've had experience in a lot of things just by following the opportunities that were in front of me. And I would also say that I took advantage of the tuition reimbursement program at the foundation. I got my master's degree in it's public administration for nonprofit management, so something probably very similar to what Ashley is doing. And it has definitely helped broaden my perspective and my work with faculty.
I have a business degree in finance from the University of Nebraska. My background historically has always been kind of in the brokerage industry or securities industry. I started out of school in a public equity, or not public equity, investment firm essentially, and I've always worked kind of within that realm. Also have worked with a securities litigation firm, which gave me a little bit of a different perspective on things, where we were working with law firms in conjunction with investment firms to provide third-party analysis and essentially for securities litigation support. And then kind of working my way back around to consulting in the financial industry, and through some connections there, I learned of a job opening at the foundation, learned a little more about kind of the financial piece of the foundation and the size of the investments that they were managing, and thought it was a really great opportunity to be able to use my background, which you wouldn't necessarily think is traditionally something that could be used for health, because I'm by no means a doctor and no one wants me doing surgery on them. But being able to use that background to help generate additional investment returns that then are turned into research, dollars for research and dollars for patient care, to further a wonderful public mission, was something that was very intriguing to me. It's great to know you're part of something that's greater than just yourself.
Please tell us a brief story. Describe one thing you've been a part of that you felt proud of, that maybe helps explain why your field or area in the foundation is special.
So I've worked with the KCI Institute fundraising team for a couple of years now, and the work that they do really is truly inspiring every day. And it's amazing what they do over there. It's not just patient work, but it's also great research for, for instance, gene therapy. And one of our colleagues, her father actually benefited from the research that we've been fundraising for, and from the researchers there that are doing those surgeries and doing those clinical trials. And so for her to announce that to all of us, that her father actually was involved in one of the clinical trials, and that he actually he was blind and now he can see, some light coming through, and he can see some stuff. So just to hear stories like that really hit home and, are affecting people that we work with personally, I'm getting like chills just talking about it, really, because I'm thinking about the story that our colleague told us, and I'm actually gonna like kind of tear up right now. But it's amazing to really be a part of that. I'm not the person that's out there making the asks to the donors, but I know that all of the little things that I've done to help support my fundraisers, from every scheduled meeting to every brief that I've created, has helped create this bigger picture and helped these successes like our colleague's father being able to see. And so it's just amazing to see that happen and to hear that happen and to know that you personally have had a hand in that. And so, I'm grateful that I get the opportunity to do that. And, I'm excited to see what other, stories come up and how my work can affect the lives of others.
My story is a little bit outside of the OHSU Foundation, but I wanted to share some of my volunteer experience and how I've grown in this role through a volunteer organization that I am a part of. So as I mentioned earlier, I've been part of this profession for more than 20 years now. And one of the reasons I've stayed in this profession so long is due to the fact that there's this whole community of prospect development professionals such as myself at organizations around the world that are willing to share what they've learned with others. So this membership organization is called APRA. That's APRA. When you're new to a profession, it's having this type of resource available has just been so invaluable. And for me, it's been instrumental to my professional growth. I've had the opportunity to improve on my speaking and my presentation skills by sharing my experience and presenting at conferences or virtual seminars such as these. I've had the opportunity to also grow my leadership skills by serving as a volunteer and a local board member, and then an international board member. And then these skills that I've learned with APRA and that community, I've been able to translate and utilize at OHSU Foundation. And I'm just so forever grateful to this community. And I encourage everyone, regardless of your choice and profession, to seek out a group of community members like that can help you develop your skills, grow them, where you can bounce ideas and try new things.
What I'm most proud of in this field and about myself and my career here is that I have actually been here at this place long enough to see things go from an idea without a name to ultimately having local, national, and international impact. So a couple just quick examples, but I started here the same year that Brian Drucker, the director of our Knight Cancer Institute, started at OHSU, and he is known for developing a drug called Gleevec, which was the first cancer treatment in the world to treat to kill just the cancer cells and not the healthy cells. And this discovery literally changed the world of cancer and cancer research and impact that is seen today. And it has saved hundreds of thousands of lives across the world. And it is exciting to be a part of kind of, the work and going where the field is going next. And my day-to-day work is getting to be a part of these things. And so I'm so proud that I have been able to see these things from very early on and support them through the point where they're actually impacting patients.
Mine's not as much of one individual story, but more of kind of a process that we went through on the investment side over the last number of years. And so we ended up, hiring a manager that had a lot of expertise in alternative assets, such as private equity and venture capital that are very long-term in nature. And through this process, we've actually been able to substantially grow the size of the endowment, which in turn substantially increases the amount of support that is sent to both OHSU and North American Children's Hospital to carry out their missions and provide the best care possible for Oregonians. If you have the opportunity, if this is something that you're interested in, the opportunity to take accounting classes in high school or a general economics class or even a personal finance class can really go a long way to giving you a good foundation.
Some of the things that you might do now is think through what gets you excited in your work and your tasks. So if you like to read and write, maybe you want to go into the research side. If you love figuring out where the book is in the library, looking at databases, those types of things, because you're curious and interested in learning about all kinds of different things. Those would be skills that would translate well to being in prospect development. But the biggest one is asking questions, trying to figure out the answer, try to connect the dots. Those are all really important skills for our kind of work.
I'd say, volunteer if you can. I think that's a really great way to, learn more about nonprofits and, especially those like our foundation that primarily fundraise, and get involved in those areas that you are interested in and, find your passion.
What I would say is that, take a deep breath. There is no necessary set path. Nothing is forever. You don't ever really have to decide. And I love the director of our Night Cancer Institute tells high school students to just make the most of what's in front of them right now. It is quite possible to love your job. Ashley talked about the passions, and when you work with what's in front of you, follow what you like. We spend a lot of time in our jobs, and it's important to me anyway to have as much fun doing what we can, because we spend a lot of time there.
So it's just amazing to hear how many awesome things are happening, and well as to hear how these things that are happening in the science and medical field is coinciding so well with the foundation work, and how foundation work assists with that. That's definitely something that I'm learning today. So thank you so much to the Oregon Health Science University Foundation, and for all of your time to talk with us today about what is the foundation and what are some different jobs that go into it.